Osibisa, and these were the jams of the 70s. I always liked the album covers, and they were just fascinating. The album covers of Osibisa were just artistic heaven, and you wonder what they were trying to just portray. They were just a wonderful group, and they flew high the flag of not just Ghana but Africa, and great group. And it's just sad to just think that most of the people that you saw in that clip have gone on, Ivo, Daku Potato, Mark Tonto, you name them. But they left behind great music. And I'm sure my guests, Kofi Kapito and Mr. Kwame Jantwa, really enjoyed Osibisa. Can you name a favorite Osibisa song? I know, Kofi, you were really a great dancing music
Coffee in
person.
Brazil.
What's your first?
Coffee in Brazil.
Coffee.
In Brazil.
There's a lot of coffee in Brazil. Okay, that's your song. How about you, Mr. Jantwa?
There are too many to remember.
Too many, yeah?
But Coffee in Brazil was the song.
Coffee in Brazil.
In our time.
Yes.
You know, they released this album, this song in 1976.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Way back.
Yep.
That was when musicians dressed properly, not just hanging your trousers, whether below your ankle, or, I don't understand why people today, people today, they want to show their boxes. Mm-hmm. Some of them, they have their trousers almost to their knee, and I tell them, then don't wear the trousers.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Finish.
And they don't understand the culture of that.
Yeah.
This is the culture in America for prisoners.
American prisons.
Prison culture.
Because they will not allow you to wear a belt.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can strangle yourself with it.
With a belt.
Or hang yourself with it.
So they always work with holding
their trousers.
one side like this.
And if you realize, they always wore jeans in the prisons. The jeans are heavy.
So they're all walking around.
Yeah.
So the young men who walk around like this, let me show you how they, if you don't know this. So yeah, they're walking around like this. I can't drop my trousers.
No, some of them don't even hold it.
They don't hold it. They just
because they put the belt on their thighs.
Expand it.
Yeah, so the belt is on the seat. It's here.
No, below the seat.
The belt is here.
On the thigh itself. And then some of them will wear 3 boxer shorts.
And then
just to show.
Kill all your sperm. Because it's all about heat.
They don't understand.
Then when you're not having babies, you're disturbing
because you have musicians who don't understand, and they are portraying it on television in their videos, and your children are watching.
My children don't watch that crap.
Wow, hey,
my children don't.
They don't watch. What's the boy? The new boy's name? The most popular rapper. What's his name? Something. The Traveler. Yes. What's his name? Black. Yes. Sheriff.
My children listen to jazz.
Oh, Kakafu. You'll be disappointed.
I'm in my house. I know what they
will sing that song for you.
My children don't sing that
song.
I'll tell you what my children sing after the show.
Kafi, when they go to school.
Why you argue with me, my own kids?
No, in the house. No, we all did that. In the house is a different story. Peer pressure. You'll be surprised to see, the first day I saw my son that lived in America, brought him to Ghana. First day I saw him dance Azonto. I was shocked. And that boy could dance better than most Ghanaians.
But Azonto is global, man.
No, you're not getting it. It wasn't global first. I'm just saying that a boy from America, who you think will be dancing to whether Snoop Doggy Dogg or,
all those guys?
Dre.
You know Snoop Dogg?
Oh, I told you I told you a song and I told you.
You know Snoop Dogg?
Can
you drop a Snoop rap from me? Lawyer J, I want to hear you rap, man.
Dr. Dre.
Oh, that's one for me.
Coffee, let me ask, where's the broadcasting bill?
The broadcasting bill?
Yes.
It should be
that
where
can
it should
control a lot of the things we see on TV.
Yes.
Where is it?
You're putting me on the spot.
How long has it been in Parliament for?
You're still putting me on the spot.
Okay.
Look, we have an institution, National Media Commission.
You know what? Let's be happy.
They have teeth. They come back.
They come back. Let's drink coffee at least. Okay, coffee in Brazil. Special request from both of you.
Yes, that
Enjoy
was
this one.
that
will
was
bring you down.
Yes,
yeah. Yeah, let's go. Coffee in Brazil.
Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in You date a girl and find out later she smells like a percolator. Her perfume was made right on the grill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. No tea, or tomato juice. You see, no potato juice. All the farmers in Africa say, hey, hey. A politician's daughter was accused of drinking water and was fined a great big $50 bill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. A whole lot of coffee in Brazil. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. No tea, or tomato juice. You see, no potato juice. All the farmers in Africa say, hey, hey. But when their ham and eggs need saving, coffee ketchup gives them flavor. Coffee pickles way outsell the deal. They've got an awful lot of
Coffee in Brazil.
The coffee song.
You know, let me tell you what Mike Tonto told me. He said when he was a young boy, he started playing the trumpet very, very early. And he says he would go to the Menchia Palace. And then he would be blowing the trumpet. Then Pempe the second would shout, Tonto!
The king himself. Was he a royal?
I don't know, but I think he was close. So, you know, he said he was always there, he's blowing his trumpet, you know, and this is how people start. And we need to encourage young people when they start doing these things.
Yep.
Look, what's his name? Kiki Jan. Do you know he was the first, I think, black or something to make $1 million record deal? Seriously, they signed him $1 million. That guy could play anything, anything. Very, very young, you know. And back in the day, that was when Kwame was cutting the floor in London.
What kind of moves, man? I see those pictures too. With your bar, you're wearing some bars and things, and then you had an afro back then.
And I saw what you call it. What's her name?
Thelma.
Thelma. No, not Thelma.
Maltiti.
Maltiti's Oxford bars.
Yes.
It just
It took you back.
reminded me of
So
those
the coffee song was a big song. This came out in 1976, but musicians such as Sam Cooke, Frank Sinatra, they've all covered this song. It's a 1976, so this is a 47-year-old song.
Yeah.
The Osi Bizarre version. So hey, rest in peace, Osi Bizarre.
You know, I mean, it is sad how we don't even celebrate them.
Yeah.
You know, Ghana, we don't celebrate our own, and then when some non-Ghanaian dies somewhere in America, in UK, the radio stations will eulogize and play all kinds of. I don't get it. I surely don't get it.
Yeah. Well, we celebrated it
No,
today.
which is very, very good.
Yes.
Which is very, very good. And I, if I'm not wrong, I think people knew Brazil had coffee, but this song made people know that there's coffee in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it actually helped the coffee industry also to boom there. So hey, music can take us really, really far. My guests, in case you've just come out of under a rock and you're wondering who are these chaps that Kaf is talking to, or who is that guy crying who is even doing the show? Well, my name is Kafi Day, and my guests are Kofi Capito, who is the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency, and Kwame Jantoa, who is the chairman of the Political Affairs Committee of the Convention People's Party, and they're just proud Ghanaians. These are the headlines that we have for you this morning. Let me go through a couple of them that we have. Okay, so graphic, nation loses position as most peaceful country in West Africa. Parliament legalizes weed cultivation for medicinal use. Parliament to subpoena Bank of Ghana governor over financial breaches. Binduri's SHS shut down over lack of food. ECOWAS court okays a Japa deal. and turning prisons into factories. Prison officers trained in entrepreneurship. That's Daily Graphic. The Ghanaian Times, over 400 operators grabbed in a swoop. They are alleged to be distributing clients' data and issuing death threats. These are the people who are operating those online loan apps with crazy names like Fufu. There was one which had a Fufu in it. I couldn't even believe it. Fufu Cash or Fufu CD or something like that. So over 600 mobile phones seized, 22 laptops, 500 SIM cards. 500 SIM cards seized. So a couple of headlines from the Ghanaian Times. Defunct SOEs to be disposed of, says the minister. Kolebu Teaching Hospital medical team performs life-saving kidney transplant. Great news. And Attorney General's 92 official vehicles not insured. Wow. Chief Director to the Public Accounts Committee. Those conversations are happening on GBC, GTV every morning around about 10 o'clock. And the Business Finder, inflation for June rises to 42.5%. 25 countries have poverty within 15 years, but 1.1 billion remain still poor. And there are a couple of other headlines that I'll find for you in a short while. But for now, these are the headlines we have. Kofi, which one of them strikes your fancy?
You know, we said it was Attorney General's vehicles not insured, right?
Yes, the Ghanaian Times.
Yeah, but Kofi, have you noticed that?
92 vehicles.
Have you noticed that every time a government vehicle, whether security vehicle or normal government vehicles, when they get in an accident, they always try to bully the other driver and get away with it, because especially the military people and the service people, because all the cars are not insured, or most of those cars are not insured. For some strange reason, they don't insure them. How can you tell me I should go insure my car, and you, the government, you are not insuring yours? So when they get in an accident, because they know that they might pay out of pocket, they are always agitated, try to prove that it is your fault, simply because they don't have insurance. Because if you have an insurance, what are you worried about? It's somebody's wahala. It's not yours. But that is what has been going on in Ghana for years. It's nothing new. And the government is aware. Because they buy the vehicles, they register them, that's it. So, is it fair? Is it fair to me, the Ghanaian? And this is what I asked people, especially our parliamentarians, when they make the laws, as if they make the laws that government and some of them are not to be affected by the law, by we Ghanaians. But I sent you there. You are there to represent me. You go and you don't do what I want, but you do what you please. It doesn't add up. And Ghanaians, because we are very, very not understanding the role of our parliamentarians, we let them go free. We let them go free. Look, do you know how many hearings goes on in the U.S. Congress because some agency hasn't done what they're supposed to be doing, or complaints coming? The only time I saw somebody asked to be arrested by the Public Accounts Committee was a civilian who, I think his brother died, and the insurance money, instead of giving it to the wife and children, he chopped that money. And then I think the lady petitioned the Public Accounts people, the sitting that they do on
on TV.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one happening again today.
That's the only time I've seen somebody ordered to be arrested. Okay. You have members of governments who come and they tell you, okay, don't worry, you call you later. A civilian was actually be arrested. So I asked I knew people were I told them that they should stop wasting my tax money, because that thing that they do. And what is even annoying is, Kafi, when did he come to GBC?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. Do you know the public account people will call you for 4 years when you are not here to come and account for it? And the man who did it is walking around. But they will hold you, the current director or the current whatever, to come and answer questions. Something that you don't know anything about.
So we need to tighten up the system and get the right things done.
We know we can do it because we don't hold them responsible. Ghanaians, we don't hold our MPs responsible, period.
All right, so Kofi is telling you we need to be more involved in our governance, not just leave it to Abang, but we, the people who put the people in power, need to hold them responsible. Mr. Jantwa, what is on your mind this morning?
Good morning to our viewers.
Morning.
Two things. First thing, it boggles my imagination that a country like Ghana has an oil refinery since 65 and they clap for a private foreign company to also open an oil refinery next to their own and encourage it and encourage capital flight. Boggles my imagination. The Chinese spent 1.9 billion. We, this year, have spent only 1.3 million where toy is concerned. And you would see, we'll be gyrating towards them, and they would now refine all our oil, and the oil that we can take from our oil fields into toll, no, we would give it to the Chinese company to do. Where does that come from?
What's the state of Tor right now, Tema Oil Refinery?
The state of Tor is that it's not doing much. It's not doing much.
Comatose.
But why don't we see the benefits of what we have? And we are always clapping for foreign companies who come in and take the money out. And then we go to the IMF. It doesn't make sense to me. Second one, and I'll take it from where Kofi left off. We have passed the narcotics bill.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against
The cannabis for medical use?
Yeah, for medical use. Mm-hmm. However, how do you police it? That it won't be used for other recreational things. That it won't be used for export. How? That cocoa farms won't be cut down to grow Indian hemp. How do you police it? Okay, I haven't read the act that has come out. But how do we police it? Do you know? Do you know how it's going to be policed?
Tell me.
I don't know. I don't know. So, government has, and yes, for medical purposes, it earns money. No two ways about it. But in those countries that it's allowed, it's policed strictly. Strict policing. Making sure that what it is meant for is what it is used for. And a typical example is Galamsey. We have gold everywhere. There's nothing wrong in mining gold. But there are laws that monitor how gold is mined. Have we been able to monitor Galamsey? So, I don't know. Really, gradually, I'm beginning to think, where are we heading for? Where is this country heading for? The promises that the president gave us when he came in 2016, if we were to do a value check on it, where are we today? And, you talk, people say you're lamenting too much. But it is affecting the country, isn't it? It's affecting. The rains have started. Thank God it hasn't rained, torrentially. But the day it rains torrentially, and that day is coming, you will see the floods everywhere, in everybody's homes. Do we have leadership? So Parliament passes this act. What institutions are supposed to make sure that what they've passed the act for is what is going to happen? Who is going to educate the masses about this? Because people say, let's say a passing law, no, we can grow it. Next thing you see, we are exporting it.
Let me read the story, and we'll try and get some expert input into it. So, the Minister for Interior has regained the power to grant a license for the cultivation of cannabis, popularly known as weed, with a small quantity of its active properties for industrial and medicinal purposes. The license will strictly be for the cultivation of cannabis with not more than 0.3% of tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THC, the main active ingredient of cannabis on a dry weight basis, and should be for industrial or medicinal purposes only. The bill, when assented to, is not yet assented, but when it's assented to by the president, will further prohibit a person who has been granted a license under the bill from cultivating cannabis for recreational use. So the empowerment came after Parliament passed the Narcotics Regulation Commission Amendment Bill 2023 yesterday. So it has amended the former act to reintroduce a Section 43 that will provide an opportunity for Parliament to debate the policy rationale of this particular decision. So moving a motion for the House to adopt the report, the Vice Chairperson of the committee, Ophelia Mensah, said the committee met and determined that the bill was of an urgent nature and should be considered. So they felt it was urgent and it had to be done. A little bit of a background. So the amendment to the bill was triggered by the ruling of the Supreme Court in a 4-3 majority on July 28, 2022. The Supreme Court held that's a section of the Act violated parts of the Constitution, and the details of the process of the bill must go through before it is passed into law, and all kinds of technical details there. But the upshot of this conversation is that Parliament has legalized the cultivation of marijuana for medicinal use. It is left with the President to assent to it. And
don't you think because it has other uses, it should be targeted?
Marijuana has other uses.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it have other uses?
It does.
Yeah. And those other uses can be detrimental to the health of human beings. Shouldn't it be targeted?
When you say targeted, what do you mean?
In terms of, shouldn't we have targeted areas where we will grow it because it's for medicinal use?
So, otherwise, what's your fear? What's your fear?
Oh, people can cut down cocoa trees and grow marijuana.
They are growing medical marijuana.
Yes. And you can't monitor. How do you monitor it? So if you come and you say, okay, in these areas, these are our marijuana growing areas, then you monitor it, police it, to make sure that it is...
This is the only place you can grow marijuana.
Exactly. And anywhere else you grow, you ban it. You ban it. You can't just make laws and leave it to the air. We know in this country, we are not law-abiding, period. Look at the numerous good laws we have, and look at the state of the country. So, let's see.
They say what?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Something T.
Is the monitoring.
They say there's a specific one, THC.
THC. That's the active ingredient inside the cannabis.
But let me ask, I don't know. Are we going to import this special one into Ghana? No, because what we have, I know what people grow at the Ejura and all those places. I don't know what the potency is. That is the one we've been using for recreational use all this time.
Have you tried it?
And well, I guess as a kid, curiosity, yes. But it's something that I don't even never smoked since then. I don't smoke tobacco.
What did it do to you? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It's been
years,
50 years. I don't remember.
You were high before.
I don't remember even if I was high. It's been that long. Same thing with alcohol. I tried it once, I didn't like it, and it's been over. Okay. I'm just saying that, yes, they are talking about, I don't know whether it's a special seed that is going to be imported or we have it already in Ghana. Because what I know that we have in Ejura and all those weed growing areas, I don't know.
Ejura is a weed growing area.
Oh, definitely, everybody knows.
I didn't know that.
Everybody knows a dry area is look, let me tell you what. You know Aveno. Aveno. Anytime the police go there, what are they going to do there? They're going to do a raid. Aveno is known, unless you are not.
They grow it there, what?
No. Aveno is the number one area that they stock weed in Ghana.
And it comes from Ejura?
It comes from that, all those BDA
they stuff it in. Charcoal cars.
Agro trucks. They power the charcoal and the weeds under. The police do a swoop all the time. It's nothing new.
This is a good lead, you know. So
The police are aware. It's nothing new.
No, it's new to me.
It's not new.
Because you don't sell it. If you
new.
sell it, you know.
Why do you
sell it?
sell something?
No, because I know people who deal in it. No, but there's nothing wrong. People deal in it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I mean,
So these innocent charcoal trucks I've been seeing, I should be suspecting some of them. Eh?
ask the police. They are aware of it.
Charcoal on top, ganja. And
Chaka, plenty ganja, and they those areas that they bring. And I hear the one in Ghana is very, very good. That's why when they export, they get good money. It's not that they've done this, is the ones that they do in the lab in California and all those places. But the Ghana one was good because Ghana one, I hear the seed. There's a seed in it. It's the seed that makes you high. So the question is, I don't understand this whole thing.
Let's get some understanding from Professor Akwesi Osei, who was the former Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority.
Okay.
Professor Osei, good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. So Parliament has legalized the cultivation of cannabis for industrial and medicinal purposes, and I am sure we'll get back to Professor Osei because I heard some beep, 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 and we'll get him back, and we'll run this conversation with him.
With all due respect,
Yeah.
we need to know exactly what we want. Kwame is afraid of cutting down cocoa trees, which is something that I can understand. But you look at other places like Colombia, or all those areas, where just like cocoa grows very freely, I'm sure the weed also grows very, whatever they are grown. The Americans will go and buy the coca plantation, burn it down, give them an alternative livelihood, and they can cultivate the coca leaves 4 times a year. So they'll go back. It is about economics. If we have to control it in a certain way, let's do it. But let's not pretend we are the only country. This thing that we do, and we always play this holy than thou attitude in Ghana. Okay. I don't get it.
All right. Please hold on to your thoughts. Let's see if we can get Professor Osei, Akwesi Osei, who is the former CEO of the Mental Health Authority. Professor Osei, good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. So we're reading that the Parliament of Ghana has legalized the cultivation of marijuana for medicinal and industrial purposes. How do you feel about this decision from Parliament?
Well, thank you very much, and very good morning to you, your panelists, and your viewers and listeners.
Thank you, sir.
Well, basically, what you are saying is that the legalization in itself is not a problem. Yes, it has economic benefit. It has a medicinal, industrial purpose. So all that is really very good. But the flip side of it is the fact that others will take advantage and cultivate the recreational cannabis. And that is what becomes the problem. Of course, if you have the measures to be able to check against that, then that is excellent. But are we really there yet? And that is where the fear comes in.
Are we there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have the measures to check these?
I don't think we have yet. What we have been saying is that we should prepare ourselves to the point where we can train enough narcotics control officers, for instance, to be able to
Professor Osei?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Please go ahead. He said we should train
right.
more officers.
Yes, that's right. And also, laboratories where you can detect the THC, those with the THC low content and THC high content, and you have enough personnel, mental health personnel, who can deal with the science. I mean, those who consume the recreational cannabis and develop mental health issues. You have enough facilities spread everywhere. If you have all this, then you are really prepared just for the flip side of what may come out as a result of the enactment of the legalization of the medicinal cannabis.
Right.
But the medicinal cannabis, industrial cannabis in itself is not bad, but the flip is the recreational cannabis.
How does cannabis help in terms of medicinal use? What does it do?
Well, there are two, as I said, many components in cannabis, but the two main types, what we call the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, THC cannabis, THC, CBD, cannabidiol. That the THC is what is often in the recreational cannabis, is that which people take and they become high. The CBD, cannabidiol, you don't become high. And that is often what is used for medicine. And then, of course, the fiber, the stem of the plant can also be used for textiles. So that can be used for your shirt, for your trousers. So that is also useful. So that's the industrial component and the medicinal component.
Okay, so we can walk around with cannabis shirts and cannabis trousers.
That's right. You know as well, but it's like any other shirt.
Okay, now you are very worried about the recreational cannabis. I've seen a couple of news stories. You said 30,000 mental health cases of cannabis. Mental health cases were induced by cannabis. This is back in 2017. You've called for, you've said that the legalization of marijuana is dangerous. Even way back in 2014, you said this. And you are really against the recreational use of cannabis. What do you say to somebody who says, listen, I've been using this for 30 years?
Come again. What do I think?
What do you say to somebody who says he has been, or he or she has been using recreational cannabis for 3 decades? They see no effects. What's your big deal? Live and let live. What do you tell somebody like that?
We have different immunity and different constitutions, everybody. So I give the example that a family, a household of maybe about 6-8 people, and then you are all bitten by mosquitoes. You wake up in 2 weeks' time, and 1 or 2 people have got malaria, and the others don't have. And yet, it was the same mosquitoes that bit all of us. So, and the difference lies in our constitution, our immunity. So, we are exposed to the same hazard, but someone has the effect differently. And it's similar thing to the cannabis. So, somebody may have consumed it for so long and may not be having the effect. Somebody consumes it for just a day, it begins to have the effect. And apart from that, it's not one effect. There are different types of effects, mental health effects, physical body effects. So you may not the mental effect, but you may have the physical health complex.
What is the literature on with respect to like the burden of cannabis use on the Ghanaian population? I mean, how serious is it?
What we see as a psychiatric hospital is that we have about 100,000 people attending the 3 hospitals a year. And 30% of that is actually from cannabis-related and drug use generally related conditions. 30%, that comes to about 30,000. Now, this is totally avoidable because without using this, then that would have been avoided. And there are other conditions you can avoid. But what you can avoid, then you won't avoid. So that is the way. Now, the 30% is as the outpatient base. Inpatient is about 10%. So inpatient, those that we admit at the hospital, is also about 10%. And that is very significant. That's the worry.
So that's a lot. That's about 40%. If you add the those who come in for and then those who the inpatient population, that's 40% of those who you see every year in the hospitals. Are there any countries where the fight to reduce the cannabis use has been successful? Where are the best practices that Ghana can take a leaf out of their book from? Who is succeeding?
Well, the point is to prevent it. Mm-hmm. Indeed, in various countries like the US, Colombia, and others, where it is really horrible, that is where they put in measures to regulate. If a condition gets out of your hands, then you only take steps to regulate. Like the drug use, gun use in the US. Everybody is using that. Once you're 15 years, you're able to purchase and register your gun. And that is because the availability of guns is so widespread that you only have to find a means of regulating. And so you put in those measures to regulate. Again, coming tobacco, alcohol is so widespread that you only put in measures to regulate. We have not got there yet with respect to cannabis. So we can conveniently avoid it, and that's what you've been saying. But if it gets to the point where we will have to, it gets out of our hands, then our regulation. So in various countries which have not succeeded, which missed the chance to be able to control it. And so there was an explosion. That is where they put in those measures of regulation.
Right. Kofi Kapito, CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency, has a couple of questions for you.
Dr. Say,
Yes, sir.
my long time friend. Doc, let me ask you a question.
But could it be louder?
Yes, let me ask you a question. You know, you talk about America. America is not worried about weed now. They are worried about these synthetic and artificial forms of induced chemicals, even codeine, and all these things. Yes, places like Holland. Can I ask you a question? What are they selling when you go to the streets of Holland, the red district area that people can go in, addicts can go in and get subscription? What's the difference between what they sell and what we already grow in Ghana in terms of? Yes, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's exactly the point. So our realities are different in various countries. So the reality of US and other areas, they have gone beyond the cannabis. So they are dealing with, as I said, because of the explosion of cannabis availability, they are now concerned about the newer and the synthetic drugs. So that is where they are emphasizing. But we have not got to the point where we have the explosion of the newer, even newer drugs. So we have this traditional contend with. And that's why we would not want to wait, or we should not want to wait, and that becomes out of our hands, and then we have the newer ones also to contend with. So it's based on the reality of the country.
Okay, depends on the reality of the question. Mr. Kwame Jantua, I would like to ask you a question as well, Professor Asai.
Good morning, Prof.
Hello, good morning.
With marijuana, there are different varieties, and it's got to do with how these varieties are prepared. What kind of variety do we have in Ghana? And the varieties we have in Ghana, are they medicinal or they are more recreational?
Well, there are different varieties, but basically the two varieties that are of very significant, that are very important. We have the sativa, cannabis sativa, and cannabis indica. The cannabis sativa is high in the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. That's the active component. The cannabis indica has low component of the THC, but rather high with the CBD, cannabidiol. So basically, now what we have more in Ghana is more the sativa with the high THC. Now the indica will need to be cultivated, and it can be cultivated. Our environment can allow that. It will need to be cultivated. But what we have for the free range, what grows wild, and what people actually also cultivate is largely the sativa with a high THC, because that is what gives the high for the recreational use. So basically, what we have available now in the country is largely the sativa.
So does that mean that this? So what's going to happen? Because if the one that we have is what makes people high, and it's not the one which is for medicinal, or I'm just trying to clear. So the one we have here, can we use it for medicine?
Well, actually, one can really even process, make some extras for medicinal purposes. Very possible. There are some eye preparations that can even be made from the sativa. So that's that. But generally, when you talk about the industrial and the medicinal use, it's more of the CBD. Which the sativa, the THC one can also be used.
Does that mean that people are going to be importing this stuff into Ghana for medicine and industrial use?
No, they will actually import the seeds.
The seed?
They will import the seeds for planting. So what the law says is that once you have the permission for the Minister for Interior, then you can import the seeds and cultivate for your farming, cannabis farming. So that can be done. And indeed, I can tell you that even right now, there are a lot of letters are waiting for approval for importation.
So you're expecting a batch of letters to be, as we speak, people are writing letters looking
people are writing letters for permission.
Yeah.
But all along it's been there. You know, even the old law really allowed the minister for you to seek permission from the minister. The only difference is that it was the Minister for Health that you needed to see the permission from. So once you saw the permission from the Minister for Health, then you could go ahead and cultivate. And that means you have no reason why you want to use that. Now, this new law has changed it from the Minister for Health to the Minister for Interior. And even when it was for the Minister for Health, people were writing letters for permission from the Narcotics Control board those days. So meetings have always been going on for people wanting to get permission. But the main point I'm making is that we don't have the seeds here. You would require to import the seeds to plant. But I'm sure that after some time, the seeds will be even available here.
So that's some importation is going to mean the dollar pressure again. People are going to be spending dollars to bring in ganja.
Go and bring weed.
Well, they would argue that you use small quantities of dollars to import, and then you have your huge plans to sell, to recoup, and even gain more dollars. That's the argument they will make.
Are you happy with this bill?
Well, as I said, because we are not yet prepared as a state, I'm not happy. I would have wished that we took our time to prepare ourselves adequately. As I said, I recognize the good in it, but because of the flip side, we will need to take our time to prepare ourselves adequately.
All right.
I don't think we are prepared adequately.
Okay.
And I will not be surprised that even come the next 5 years, we'll see even explosion of mental health cases. Those you see on the streets, you probably have a double, triple times the number. And we should be prepared for that. And if it happens that way, Parliament should blame themselves.
Mr. Jonta has another question he wants to ask you before you go, sir.
Sure,
Prof, I want to find out the medicinal part of it. Is it going to be used in Ghana or is going to be exported? And are we going to add value in terms of this preparation before it's exported? Or once we grow it, we export the leaves wholeheartedly? Is that how it's going to be?
Well, for now, we don't have the industrial capability to utilize it. So I suspect that people will simply plant and export. That's what, and of course the outside world.
It's almost like a cash crop.
We'll cultivate and export. But by and large, then the industries, pharmaceutical industries, would even establish a plant so that we can process them locally. And that's with time.
Professor Kwesi Osei, we
sir.
thank you for the education.
You're welcome.
And all the very best. Thank you for giving us that insight into this particular bill. So we don't. The stuff that is going to be used for industrial and medicinal purposes is not grown here. So the seeds have to come in.
We are going to spend hard dollar to
buy
go.
ganja.
You see, the question I wanted to ask him was, in other jurisdictions, because to me, when you go to Amsterdam, when you go to the streets of Denver in the United States, people buy and smoke. Is it the medicinal one? Because America, most of the states, it's been legalized. And apparently, even if you have serious arthritis, or there's some medicinal value to it.
Yeah.
And I want to ask him, the Ghana one, apart from getting high, if you smoke the Ghana one, would they give you the same medicinal relief?
I think he told you that the one we have here is just for getting high.
Master, anybody who smokes weed outside gets high. You see people, go to Amsterdam, they go to the bar, they go there to hide.
Yeah, but
they don't go there. They don't go there. They don't go for any doctor consultation.
No.
People are given licenses or permits to go to the store because they are using it for medicinal purposes. It's not to do with the age, whatever that I don't know. But I'm just saying that in other jurisdictions, you have a certificate from your doctor saying that cannabis gives you a release either from pain or some stress thing.
We haven't reached that level yet. So do you think Parliament has just going to create something that
you see,
we shouldn't really be?
The question that comes.
Why is this urgent?
The question that comes to mind is that when we pass such laws, do we do any R&D? Do we research into it to see its benefits, to see the varieties, to see all these things before we put the law?
Well, the Mental Health Authority was not even consulted when Parliament legalized it for industrial use. They didn't. They were not. And this man was the boss of the Mental Health Authority.
How? I'm asking how. Is it just because, there's medicinal use in it, benefits, so let's pass a law? Is that how we do it? Look, parliamentarians should be responsible wholeheartedly to the people. Service. When you go to your constituency, you do your constituency surgeries. These are some of the things you need to discuss with your constituents. for them to understand. So we've passed the law. Where is the education? How are we going to educate Ghanaians to understand where we want to get to and where we want to go? We don't have any industries in this country that can process the marijuana for the medical benefits. And so we are going to export.
We're going to export like
we
cocoa.
export
Yes,
everything.
timber, gold,
and
in the raw
gold
state.
and everything. When are we going to learn?
Let's go and get a license. You know, to me.
You want to be a ganja planter
No,
now?
let me put it this way. You know, Chile and some Latin American countries, they have an agreement. Even you remember, is it Tobinco or one of those places that had their warehouses or their bonded house raided because they said they had cocaine there? You remember a few years ago, it was one of these pharmaceutical companies that their warehouse was raided because but they import it for pharmaceutical purposes.
In Chile?
Yeah, no, yes. Other Latin American countries even have agreement with the United States pharmaceutical companies. What I'm saying is, let's see how we can protect this for the Ghanaian economy. If we see any value where we can, whether process, send it raw, and get some foreign exchange back. I'm talking about the local one. I'm not talking about going to spend money to go and buy another seed. It's as simple as that. Okay, I mean, what is this? Why do you see? And I always go back to Ghanaians. We cry more than the bereaved. This is done everywhere. I want to know, is it any difference? The one grown in Napa Valley in California, or somebody's garage?
But he told you the variety is
No,
different.
I'm just saying, but the high is the same. Ask anybody who smokes. Nobody's going to smoke because he won't get high. Nobody's going to smoke because he won't get high.
I think the medical one is much, what do you call it, than the ones we grow here.
Which one?
In terms of its intensity of getting high.
Which
the
one is
stronger? The one that we grow here is stronger than the medical plant that he's talking
What
about.
I'm saying is, on the streets of Denver, anybody who goes there to buy weed doesn't know whether it is this or that. If you go to
But I'm sure
Holland,
we haven't read the American
No,
law.
I'm just
So let's
saying.
read the American law and see what is in there in terms of variety of cannabis they have agreed to be sold on
people
the streets.
argued that cannabis, they didn't know whether it was TH3 or TH4 or whatever. All they said was, when I smoke marijuana, it relieves me of my pain. The person smoking doesn't know which type he's smoking. Then they said, okay, fine. Let's see if that is true. They found out that it's true. So people who have this chronic pains and other things that is related to the marijuana giving them relief, they are given a license or a permit.
Okay. So the weed conversations will continue amongst the three of us here. Let me go to the messages and see what you're talking about.
And Parliament.
And Parliament, yes, yeah. So, okay, let's see what you're talking about. There's a lot of messages here. 055
As long as
556.
we are exporting it, we are not using it in Ghana. Let's go and make money and come.
Come on. Are you sure?
But they are bringing us other stuff that we are not even benefiting from it.
Good morning. 055 is our WhatsApp number. I'll say it again slowly for Alaji not to come and catch me for overspeeding. 055 556 1034. Good morning, CAF and panelists. You have made my day with the song Coffee in Brazil by the great Osi Bisa Group. God bless you all. They love the song. We love it too. Abrantia Keki Kaswa. Okay, all right. We're not doing partisan politics this morning. All right, yeah. Respond to the thing we're talking about. Mr. Kofi Kapito is telling the truth. Simple solution. There should be a law that asks for people to prove insurance before they get the DVLA roadworthiness. He was talking about how government, according to him, most government vehicles do not have the right insurance, and so they tend to try and bully you when you are into the matters. Also, there's a tape going around with an alleged plot to take out the IGP from his position. I'll get your thoughts on that. You want to wish happy birthday to your mom and her twin sister. That's Annie Kwabia Ankuma and her wonderful twin sister, Annie Thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. This is from Angela Nkuma Akosia Beniwa. Honored to spend a great day wishing her mother and her auntie happy birthday. One of the substances or elements used to destroy our young adults is cannabis. And you think they should look at the dangerous aspect of the substance and not the scientific and economic benefits. Well, you can look at both sides if you can police it well. That's the whole idea. Hello, CAF. Good morning. In addition to Mr. Capito's comment on the PAC, in your opinion, what the Public Account Committee stands to do is always looking forward to surcharge civil servants. You have not come across a sitting where civil servants who do extra duty hours appear in audit reports and are invited for queries, appreciation, proper compensation. Okay. All right. CAF, the Speaker of Parliament, in passing the bill, said it's a Narcotics Control Board bill. Let's debate the Narcotics Control Board, but not Parliament, from Alaji. But Parliament work on the bill before it is passed. Alaji Dawood and Mandina said, I hope my pace is good for you, Alaji. You're always keeping me back. Good work. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Let's talk about that tape. So there are some tapes going around. Yeah? Yeah? So, but before the tapes, well, I need to know the name of the person who is going to be talking to me pretty soon. I'm just going to find his name, Dixon Adumaku, who is on the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. Honorable Adumaku, hi, good morning. Welcome to the show. We are talking about these narcotics, Parliament legalizing marijuana for the cultivation for medicinal use. What were some of the thinking behind the action that has been taken in Parliament?
All right. Well, first of all, let me commend you. You're such a fantastic host, and you have one of the best programs in the country at the moment. Beyond that, I think there's a lot of education that needs to go with this bill, and I need to say that it is largely for economic purposes and also for, to a large extent, reduction in some of the imports in terms of products that are used for making hair products, and then beyond that, other medications. So just to help many Ghanaians, something as basic as paracetamol is one of the very active ingredients to discomfort a lot of people is cocaine. And many people are not aware that in as much as cocaine is very harmful, addictive, it is one of the active ingredients that is used for paracetamol, ordinary basic paracetamol. So I'm just using this to educate people that cannabis and its derivatives are found in many things that we use on a daily basis for women hair products. That's one thing. For also other medications, and then for other products, plastics and many other things. And I think that per what we've come to know, in terms of the millions of dollars that the Americans are raking in for growing and selling these products to manufacturers, we think that it is an opportunity that we should not let it go, and that if we also venture in, it becomes an additional revenue for government and then for farmers, and this is one of the key reasons. And then we're looking at doing it in a controlled manner, and I think that is one of the key things. If you look at it, that's why it's actually the Narcotic Board that has been handling this issue, largely because of the need to be able to make sure that the distribution network is tight and very well controlled. As it stands now, many of the pharmaceuticals in this country import large quantities of this for the production of some of the herbal medications, for the production of our medications, and then even other products. Like I said, a lot of hair products has it. So why import this, increase our forex exchange rates when we have the soil to grow this? And this is the thinking behind this early beginnings. And let me also add that as it stands now, worldwide research has proven that for terminally ill people, when we say terminal, people who are very sick, nearing death, it has some benefit for them in terms of pain management and in terms of, helping them have comfort of life nearing their departure from this world. So if you look at it from all those aspects, and I think that it's been criminalized for too long, and I think that unfortunately, even in drug use, it's the misuse that has been, the major thing. Because let me state that there are many medications that, when overdosed, can kill or can cause very serious adverse impact on the human body. So I'm for one, moderate usage, and I'm also for the fact that it has very significant medicinal properties, and then also, more importantly, very significant properties that can be used in many products, just as we use cocoa for a lot of things beyond just cocoa drink.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that really comprehensive response. Mr. Kwame Jantua has a question that he wants to ask.
No, I don't have a question.
You don't have a question?
But the question I'll ask
Dr. Adumaku Kisi.
Doc, is that if we are looking at aloe vera, we're looking at, cannabis, we should look at the others too that can give us the kind of medical benefits. Aloe vera is one of them. Do we export it?
No, you can export it. There's no limit.
No, but do we export it?
Please make your point.
Look, every cosmetic and medical ingredient has aloe vera. It's an antioxidant. Yes. It's an anti-cancer effect. It has anti-diabetic effects. Yes. It has constipation. It has wound healing. It has so many things. We grow it everywhere. But we grow it everywhere.
I mean, there's no
so
law
if that,
no,
hang on. You don't. You're not getting what I'm saying. If we are saying that cannabis is something that would benefit the country, let's look at the others too that will benefit the country and put the laws in place and cultivate for export and processing.
Agreed.
Don't let us just take one. Let's take all the others. That grow, aloe vera grows in everybody's garden. Go to Australia today. See what they are doing with aloe vera. And it would help us. These are some of the areas that we will say are, if I can use the term for non-traditional. That we can put laws in place and export and get money and help our economy.
Doc.
Agreed.
Dr. Kisi.
Yes.
Kofi Kapito here. Let me ask you a question. Is there a law against export of aloe vera?
That is not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Kwame. All I'm saying is, the reason why this thing is coming is because there's a law against it. That is whether marijuana locally used or export or whatever. So now they want to cure that.
Fair enough. Let's add this to it.
What I'm saying, aloe vera, you are free to grow it just like people are growing banana and pawpaw and other things and shipping it. You don't need a law. Maybe we need education that these other things too can fetch us money.
Dr. Adumaku Kisi, what was back in 2020, the Mental Health Authority were disappointed that Parliament did not consult them before they went ahead with getting a law for industrial use of cannabis. This time round, did you consult the Mental Health Authority?
I mean, I know that at least the Health Committee, had an interaction with them, and I'm assuming, and then hear me out, I'm assuming that necessary, because usually the NARCO board has also the Accra Psychiatry leadership on there, and I can only assume that some consultation. And then let me also add that this has been in the worldwide communication and research, and articles are largely more so available now And I must say that I think the fear and panic and concern about the usage and the distribution networks is now down. And I think that looking at how Ghana has advanced in terms of our immigration, customs management, we are now endowed with the capacity to be able to make sure that products, just like we move gold from Ghana, this product.
Respectfully, Dr. Dumakus Kwesi, we still have issues with Galamsey. Although we are moving gold out of Ghana, Galamsey is a problem.
For a long time. And yes. I'm assuming that the same approach network that carries our minerals out of this country will be in a similar fashion in terms of how this and eventually I think the first 100 people who get the license to grow will be able to talk more in terms of where they are going to grow and then the checks and balances, to ensure that it doesn't end up in the wrong industry or on the streets of the country. So this is
where we are. Are you in your research? Where are the top export destinations for this medicinal marijuana, industrial marijuana?
It's been Holland, California, and in fact, California grows a lot, and then Mexico. But largely, I think America is going to be our biggest, intake, or let me say, hopefully. And I think, let me add that this opens up room for further research into the grades of marijuana we have in this country, and in terms of the potency, because there's a lot of research that goes into, the strain and the type that they want for, various pharmaceutical purposes. And sometimes it's the importer outside that will tell you the specific grade or grain of the Indian hemp that they want. So this is the scientific labs are going to have some business, or shall I say, work to do.
Right.
And then it also gives us an opportunity to then actually send what we have in Ghana, because from what I understand, those who utilize this very well can attest to the fact that the grains we have in this country are quite potent and much stronger.
But then, Dr. Kwesi, we also heard from the doctor that the grades that we have here are not suitable for medicinal marijuana, and that they may have to import seeds to come and start growing. So I admit that this is a huge market. I mean, I'm looking at figures. The medical marijuana industry is valued at $30 billion US. But what is the guarantee that the industry will not be galamsey? Yeah, because galamseyfied. Because we know what value our gold, our legal gold industry is. But then we have galamsey. So what are the checks and balances to prevent the galamsification of the medical marijuana industry?
As we sit here, I'm sure we've both seen videos of people do counterfeit Coca-Cola, and these are things that come with a lot of industries. Even ordinary Nike T-shirts, some people, do it in a galamsey way. So in any industry, there'll be miscreants who will do those things. But I'm believing that our customs and FDB, Food and Drug Board, Agricultural Ministry, and others will be very serious about the monitoring of where it is grown and how it is moved through country. In as much as we do galamsey, moving gold out of this country is not easy. In as much as we do galamsey. So I'm very very critical about ensuring that the distribution is made tight, like an Apple phone in China. Apple phones are made in China, but you can't just buy it in China because the distribution network is tight, straight from manufacturing to Germany, straight from manufacturing to Europe, straight from manufacturing to the Americas. So I really think that one of the pluses will be how we ensure that the distribution is very tight, just as we ship our gas to other neighboring countries. I really firmly believe that if we do that, the galamsey, if any, will be minute.
All right. We'll leave you here. Dr. Dickson Adomako Kisi is a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health and the MP for Anya Soutum in the Greater Accra region. Your comments on ganja for medicinal and industrial uses? Ganja in Ghana, Ghana ganja, 055-556-1034. From ganja to tapes. So there's a tape that is leaking. There's no water. It's just audio. People are talking. And the voices on that tape suggest that they want to get the Inspector General of Police out of his job. There's been a statement from the Interior Ministry saying that there's no such thing like that. It's on the cards. But there are calls for an investigation. Mr. Janto, first of all, what do you make of this particular leaked audio?
For me, it has to be investigated. It has to be investigated. Look, one time J.W.K. Harley, he was Inspector General of Police. What happened? Was he not part of the coup?
66, right?
66. Did he not topple a president? Every minute information that comes out with regards to rigging of elections should be investigated. Let's investigate it. If it so happens that nothing comes out of it, at least we know and we can cover our backs.
Be verified.
But if we sweep it under the carpet, and it does happen, and when you listen to the contents of that tape, the first thing you ask yourself, and the first thing I asked myself, why was it recorded? What was the intention of recording it? As they say in law, what was the mens rea of recording that tape? Was it recorded because the person who recorded it wanted to expose those who were discussing it? Was that the reason? And who are behind it? We need to get to the bottom of it. We can't sweep it under the carpet. And it has to be done, and I agree with the minority leader. It has to be done in public for everybody to see. Why would anybody think that they have to stay in power forever? Why? Why would any political party think that? And they have to use the wrong ways of doing it. Why? Even if it is not the party in power, but they are supporters of the party in power, why would they think that is the right way to go? Do you know what that can do to this country? How it can destabilize this country if that happens? Do we understand it? Probably we are comfortable with our democracy because we have freedom of speech and everything. But look, it's just a tweak. Look at what happened in Rwanda. You think that happened here? So far as I'm concerned, both sides of the house, every Ghanaian should be interested in this particular issue and let's investigate it to the bottom. So, some people feel that the IGP did a good work in Asin North. And they don't want him to do a good work in the general election. This was a by-election. And we don't need peace in the general election. What is it? Kafi, tell me, that presidency thing there, what is there? What is there? When you are elected or nominated a government official, are you not there to serve? Is that not the first priority? Is it not sacrifice? And if you put yourself up, aren't you sacrificing your own time to serve the people? So why do people feel that whatever the case is, we have to be there? Why?
So
I don't understand it.
You are calling for that investigation?
Yes, it has to happen.
Kovi?
Gav, it's interesting because I'm having a flashback as to what is going on in America with Donald Trump, where he You see, that's the difference between there and here. He, the president, was begging a governor to find extra votes for him. And the governor was the person who was supposed to watch and mount the gate. And the governor refused. Here, the people who are supposed to mount the gate, if it's true, a police commissioner, Kafui, he rather should have even protected and said that the IGP did a good job, because their job, whether you are NDC, CPP, PPP, once you wear that uniform, your party doesn't matter anymore. Zero. And that is what we don't know. That in Ghana, we have NDC police and we have MPP police.
Which is which?
Yes, because yes, some MP would proud himself that me, I was able to take 300 of my hometown boys into the Ghana police. Kafui, Ghana, honestly, when you say, people say Ghana is sick. Kafui, Ghana is sick. And time has come that we need to look at it. This investigation, Kwame, you say it should be done in public, I agree. But the question is, how independent? They will put government people. They will put party people.
Okay.
That is the problem.
Maybe we need medical cannabis to heal us.
You know, Kafui, it is a serious matter. It's a very serious matter, if it's true. And what I don't like about Ghana now is whenever everybody messes up and speaks, his defense is a doctored tape.
Yeah. Was that the defense for this one too?
Yeah, that people claim that this is something, and now somebody claims that there's a technology to do a voiceover and blah, blah, blah. The question is, we can test they have a way of testing
forensically.
Voice, yes.
Forensically, can be done.
It can be done.
It's done all the time.
It's done all the time. But you see, this is the problem. And this is where all the two parties, they've actually done Ghanaians a disservice.
I agree.
Look, anytime the government in power, anything against them will be rubbish. Then the opposition will cry wolf or foul. And this same opposition will come into power
and do the same
thing. Why? And you see, this is why I say we Ghanaians, we don't know the power that we have.
If we knew,
as other jurisdictions, like what is happening to the people who storm the U.S. Congress. Look at what is happening to them. They are being jailed.
Jailing them left
They're
and right.
jailing them. In Ghana, somebody will say, oh, Akwewe dear, one or boy, so let him go. A whole U.S. Army officer has been jailed. He was part of the June, was it?
January 6 people.
Yeah, January 6 people.
He committed that sacrilege on my mother's birthday.
This is the thing. The problem is, to me, we are not serious as a country. Because this is one, for the first time. Let's stop this. Look, IGP Dr. Dampare, I know him personally. He's one guy that means well to make the police do well and to be independent. Let us support him. If he's found wanting, we hold him accountable. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that. Let's go to the people. The people are on the board. 055-556-1034. Innocent Kuleke, I like your name. I think educating the general public, especially the youths, on the business aspect of growing the herb will limit unemployment.
Thank you.
JB Kufridua, it said that 1 kilo of cocoa is at $10. Well, we'll check that, and it takes 5 years to mature. 1 kilo of marijuana is 3,000, and it takes 3 months to mature. JB Kedua, but not everything be money. Not be everything be money. You are giving us nice numbers, but it's not all about money. Okay. The man told you that 100,000 people visit the psychiatric hospitals every year in Ghana. 30,000 of them is because of ganja. 10,000 beds because of inpatient, because of ganja. So while you are giving numbers, I'm also giving you numbers. Okay, numbers versus numbers. So you weigh all the numbers. Freedom. He says, I've been diagnosed with typhoid for 12 years, visited many health facilities, but to no avail. And a medical practitioner recommended this heavenly herbal to chew 0.5 grams a night for 3 weeks, and I'm now okay. So this is a testimony from Freedom, who is free from typhoid. Okay. Money that weed can give this country, not even cocoa. Please check Canada. Okay. But you see, in Canada, you don't have our systems. Let's be careful in our comparisons. So Ghana no be Canada. All right. I thought the man in white is going to talk about hard grabber, but not aloe vera. Aloe vera is commonly known everywhere in Ghana without any problem. Okay. Who is wearing white though?
It's colorblind. But it has money effect for us.
Yes. But the question is, nobody is stopping you from growing.
All right. Two more questions. Two more. Our parliamentarians, are they serving Ghanaians' interest or personal interest? How can they legalize it without consulting Ghanaians first? If someone is smoking weed for his or her own health sake, will the person be arrested? How are they going to control the herbalists in this country? There's going to be a big conversation. There has to be a big conversation on this, the implications of this particular bill, because people are thinking that, oh, now that we can just go around smoking freely. You may get yourself in trouble with the guys in black. All right. Two more and we're done. Good morning, Cap. The bill has been passed already. The foreign seeds will be coming soon. And he gives a hooray there. Okay, I think we are done with the messages. Alcohol is even more dangerous than weed.
Yes.
Weed doesn't make people crazy. It's rather alcohol that makes people mad, cocaine and heroin included. So leave weed alone. Well, we're going to have conversations on this in due course. Gentlemen, I'm so happy that we've had this conversation full of good insights.
Somebody was saying that now the we smokers say, Masa, and then they got a power.
They are deceiving themselves. This is the source. Kofi Kapito.
I buy ultimate chew you.
You should try it and see. You'll deal with him. Kofi Kapito, CEO of Consumer Protection Agency. Kwame Jantwa is the chairman of the Political Affairs Committee of the CPP. Still to come, we've got Clemento Suarez chilling with Val, and we've got Ajete Anang chilling with Thelma, and you've got me, Kafui, chilling by myself. And we're going to go to Jay, who, by the way, I think is in quite a somber mood, because today is the funeral for the late, great Ama Ata Edu. And everything starts today. We're giving her a state-assisted funeral. And I'm going to flip over to Jay now, who will give us a sense of...
Welcome to the forecourt of State House, where we have gathered here with heavy hearts to bid farewell to one of Africa's literary giants, Professor Ama Ata Edu. Her passing is a tremendous loss, but her legacy as a prolific author and champion of African literature will continue to inspire generations to come. At the moment, you can see the Chief of Defense Staff who is filing past the family, greeting them, as we expect the President to be coming here later this morning around 9 o'clock. At the moment, some mourners are here to pay their respects, and since we've arrived, we've seen them reading out their tributes and paying their respects to Prof. She was a trailblazer and a woman of immense talent and a fearless advocate for social change. Born March 23rd, she dedicated her life to storytelling, using her words to challenge societal norms, and she was an advocate for gender equality and cultural liberation. Yes, so I have a few writers here, and I would like to speak to a few of them and find out what their thoughts are concerning Prof's passing. Akosia, hi, good morning, how are you doing?
Good morning, how are you?
Oh, I'm also good. This is a sad occasion for all of us, and we know her legacy will endure. So at this moment, I just want to know what your initial thoughts are. What's on your mind at the moment?
I mean, I think we shared a lot on the show, and today is the day. Basically, I've been in reverence, I've been in silence, thinking. They played some of her words, things she said while she was alive, and I just had goosebumps. I started to cry a little today, But yeah, you just have joy that she left a legacy, and she left gems for us to go back to all the time and become better Ghanaians, So I'm grateful for her life today. And today there are a lot of wonderful African women writers from all over the continent. It's a testament to who she was. So definitely we'll be meeting some of them.
Oh, yes, I can see some of them were surrounding you. Is that Sechua? Yeah, Nana Dakwa. Okay, so so this is Nana Dakwa, another author, and so who I'm sure has been inspired by Professor Amma Ata Edu. So what do you want to tell us this morning?
I think today is actually a day where we should be celebrating the life and achievements of Professor Amma Ata Edu. For many people, myself included, she was an inspiration. She showed us a way to be as a woman, to be bold, to be independent, to be courageous, to live life on our own terms. She was a fearless activist who spoke for the rights of women, for queer people and marginalized people everywhere.
How important is that for you as an author?
It's important. I don't think I would be who I am today as an activist, as a feminist, which is the reason why I'm a writer. She showed that if you led a political life, it came through in your writing. I remember her saying this to us one time when she delivered a workshop to us a number of years ago at the African Women's Development Fund. She said, you know, when you live a political life, it shows through your writing, and I think that's what people like myself actually aim to do.
So if there's one thing you're going to remember her by, I know you said a lot of things, so for generations to come, what kind of legacy do you foresee she has left for them?
I think she's left us an incredible legacy, a huge body of work, and I hope as a nation we will do our best to create an institute that's responsible for archiving her work and ensuring that it's available to not just Ghanaians and not just Africans and not just black people, but people all over the world. She was truly an incredible woman, and I think she will live forever through her legacy of work.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I also see Poetra Santra over here. Poetra, how are you doing?
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, fine, thank you. So at this moment, we just want your initial impressions about this whole, since you heard about her passing, her legacy that's going to endure forever, and then basically what's on your mind that you'd like to speak about this morning?
I obviously saddened by the passing away of Amma Ata Edu, but incredibly grateful for the life that she has lived, the legacy that she has left. Such an incredible woman. She's the blueprint, not only for African writers, but for women, for Africans, and for people all over the world. Amma Ata Edu has left such an incredible legacy. She was someone who was always willing to impact knowledge, always willing to create community, and her life essentially is a blueprint for us to create the future.
You know, usually we don't really have people who give us that kind of blueprint, especially when it comes to writing stories and all that. So I believe once she has done that for us, I know for generations to come, we're going to appreciate all the work that she has done for us. So before I leave, do you have any final words to leave us with?
I just want to say that in doubt, just look up Amma Ata Edu. There's literally not a subject or a topic that she hasn't talked about or written about. And it's not just for the literary community, it's for every genre of art. Amma Ata Edu has really left her footprint deeply infirmed in our world. All right.
Thank you so much, Poetra. We are here. If you hear the noise around me, the ambience, it's like this is a pre-burial service. The service is supposed to start at 9 o'clock. So if you hear the music, please forgive how loud it is. So I have a Nigerian over here. She's in the person of Lola
Shunei.
Welcome, and thank you for coming this far. How important was the Prof legacy to you?
Extremely important, and important enough for me to drop everything in Nigeria and of course come here, to be with Kina and her family and pay my final respects to her as an icon, an African feminist, an absolutely inspirational and inspiring writer.
So looking at the Prof's work, Professor Amma Ata Edu's work, how has it impacted African literature and culture, in your opinion?
Well, she was a writer in a class of her own, and so much so that in 2017 we invited her to Abeokuta in Nigeria as the headliner of the 5th edition of the Aki Arts and Book Festival, where the theme was the F word, F being feminist. So she stood for a lot, and many of us keep saying to ourselves that we are going to continue the incredible work that she started.
So before you leave us, any final words you'd like to give?
I just want to say that I will continue to remember so many of the things that she told me and so many of the things that she taught me. She was a literary mother. but she was also a mother in so many other ways. And I'm grateful that I met her, and I'm thankful for the relationship that I had with her.
Thank you so much, Lola. Yeah. So I just want to speak to one last person, and then I hand back the thing to you. Hi, you're welcome. Please mention your name for me and credentials.
I'm BC at Japan.
Okay. Please, where are you coming from this morning?
I'm coming right here from Accra. I just moved back to Ghana, and I'm obviously here because of Amata Edu also, and as a writer from Ghana who started off also as a feminist and an old girl of Wesley Girls High School because I went to her school. It was very important that I be here because she really influenced my life. I don't know if you know this, but her daughter, Kina Likimani, was the one who launched my first novel. And
what was the title of the novel?
It's The Teller of Secrets. And right now, the second one is Daughter in Exile, which she has been very happy to champion. Amata Edu actually championed my work and wrote recommendations for me. So she has been a great inspiration for all of us, and I'm so sad and we are crushed, but we are also inspired because we are going to carry on the torch and really amplify the voices of Africa and especially African women.
So before I leave you, most of us know that Prof was a feminist. So in looking at her works, how has it impacted feminism, the advancements of gender equality, for instance?
Oh, absolutely, and especially because she was also a product of Wesley Girls High School. She has encouraged us women to see our world as being beyond the kitchen, beyond household chores, but also to fight for gender equality as far as paychecks, for instance, salaries, and other things. And, if a feminist is not just women, it's anybody who believes in really improving the lives of women, and that is what she has done for us. And so we really are going to try and carry on the mantle.
Thank you so much. Okay, so in your shot right now is the former president of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, paying his respects to Prof and also now greeting some of the guests. Yeah. Thank you. So please, your name is?
Mamle Kabu.
Mamle, hi, welcome. So now that we are mourning Prof, and would like to see, do you have any personal experience with her, or maybe something that she did that resonates with you?
One of the things I really admired about her was how encouraging she was to new writers. She was like a mother in the writing community to all of us. I'm with the Writers Project of Ghana. She was so encouraging when we first started our work at the Writers Project. I'd really like to pay tribute to her for that. She always made young writers feel at home. Okay, I have to go and read a poem.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I was speaking to Mamle, who was giving his initial impressions, and who was giving his personal experience with Professor Amata Edu. So at this point, I'll hand over the feed to you, and then we'll come back later to watch the funeral proceedings for the late Professor Amata Edu, the playwright, the novelist, the poet, academic, in fact, a politician. Back to you in the studio.
Introduces charcoal and lemon essence